Hi everyone, welcome back to the podcast. So today I'm joined with Tom.
Hey.
So before I start, first off, ignore the big fat spot on my face. We'll just pretend that's not there. And second, I used to upload twice a week, but I'm just going to stick to once a week because I am trying to focus on my actual YouTube again. I say that every year, but I actually am trying this time. So I don't want to. I mean, I know with Corona I'm not doing anything, but I don't want to overstress myself because I start uni again soon, and I don't want to be like, oh, I need to film loads of videos. I need to do all this uni work, whatever. So yeah, there we go. So Tom. So Tom, I know I always talk about how I first meet everyone and know people because I just think it's a nice thing to
I've watched some of the
start off
episodes.
with.
You always start off with how you met someone.
Yeah.
College.
Yeah, we met in college. We both went to the same college, but I think you started later, didn't you? You were in what was it now? Because it was like you're the same age as me.
Right. So what it was I started the level below you.
Ah, right. So yeah, okay.
When we both went, we were just in different levels. So that's all it was. And then obviously when you went into like year 2 of level 3, I was in my first year of level 3. So that's what it was.
Because did you have an extra year at the college or not? What was it? I can't remember.
It wasn't exactly an extra year. It was more just the like tutors and whatnot because of what was going on in my life at the time. Said it might be easier for me to start level 2 rather than level 3.
Yeah.
So that's kind of.
Yeah, so basically when I first like met you, I thought you were like a year younger because of that.
Yeah.
Because as we've just mentioned, we went to the same college and we were on the same we weren't on the same course, but or were we? What course did you do?
It was the same course but different like levels and
Were
years.
you a vocal artist as well then?
Oh wait, no, sorry, I was music performance. You were a vocal artist.
Yeah, because you and Aaliyah were. Yeah, so and obviously I knew it was a bit weird and I was like, why have you got different things to everyone else and stuff? So I knew there was something not, but so we met at college.
Story in together.
Well, we met at college. When did we first? I can't remember how we first started.
You know what it was? I think, what was it? You were hanging around with Aaliyah. Like, we were in a group. So, like, obviously you knew Aaliyah and I knew Aaliyah.
Yeah, because I knew.
Like, massive group. And then you was like, oh, I'm going to go Subway. Does anyone want to come? And no one was offering. So I was like, oh, I'll go. So then we ended up going.
Oh my God, I can't even remember that.
Yeah, and then I remember you legit just got cookies. You just wanted the cookies. So that's why we went.
Yeah, I remember now because obviously I only was friends with the people in my course to start off with, and I only became friends with Aaliyah in the last year of college. And I became friends with Aaliyah first because I remember that easily because it was quite a funny situation, and then I think because of that I became friends with like you lot. Oh my God, I remember that now. That's mad. I miss college, to be fair. I think because we were at a college and on like courses that were so dedicated to what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable. I think it was. I mean, I barely went in. Do you remember? I was just never.
Like, every now and then, to be fair, it wasn't like you
I
were.
was in. I wasn't like that bad. I went in most of the time, but like if I didn't feel well, even if it was just a cough, I probably won't go in.
Yeah, for sure.
But they weren't that bad, were they? With like they didn't really care because we was only in 3 days a week anyway, and like
which probably should make them care more, if anything, because it's like your attendance needs to be on point if you're only going.
I think they just really needed you in for like the practical stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But I say that as if I like never went in. I did, but it's like I remember second year I was a bit. I had more time off because I went to more gigs.
Yeah.
Like Jack and Jack tour. I think I was off 2 days.
I remember. I think it was Jack and Jack tour. I remember we were friends at the time, and you were like, "Oh, I'm not going to be in for like the next few days because I'm going like to tour." And I was like, "Oh."
I remember because wasn't I I was in Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I think.
I think it was, yeah, something like that.
I was definitely in Mondays and Fridays, and I think it was Wednesdays.
I think
could have been Tuesday, but anyway. I remember on the Friday, I was like, yeah, it was Wednesday. Because on the Friday, I was like, I had Birmingham, and VIP was at 4. And I think early. And I had London the day before, and I didn't miss any of college, because I remember, right, it was the Wednesday night, and I went to college on the Wednesday, then I went home and I went to London on the night, then the gig was on the Thursday, but I knew I didn't have college, and then Friday I had to travel back, and there was no way, I mean, I could have tried, but there was no way I was going to get, probably would have had to have been a coach to get to college on time, which would have took 3.5 hours in the morning to do college with a massive suitcase next to me, then rush home and get ready. Do you know what I mean?
That one of your vlogs though, because I think I used to finish early on one of the days, and then you was like, well, I've got to leave early, so I'll leave with you. And then I remember you were vlogging.
Probably.
I'm not sure if it was that time, but I remember like the one time you were vlogging and you left early because you had to. I think so.
Probably.
Probably. I honestly don't miss college though. Like from my perspective.
You were going through a lot though as well, so I can't.
It's not. I left for a reason. I dropped out of that year, for a reason, because it just wasn't right for me at that point. I just, with everything that's going on within my life and stuff, it was just not the right atmosphere, I think, just for me to continue going.
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, I ain't going to speak on your behalf, but obviously for me it was very 50-50, because it was like, I just CBA, but then I was doing something and I was around people who I was friends with, and I was doing what I enjoyed doing, and I had a laugh. So it was like, it was very 50-50 for me. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it, obviously. But, a lot happened even in college for me, and it was just like not really. I don't know. It's not a time I would look back on and be like, it's the greatest. Like, there was obviously really amazing moments, but there was just too much else that was in there too.
I was quite proud of myself in college. I think I only had one kind of bust up in college, and it was, I can't even remember what it was over, but I think it was really silly, but then I think that was the only thing, so I was quite, I mean, people told me about their problems, and I probably saw people's problems going on, but I never got myself involved, so I'm quite proud of myself for that, to be fair. You know what I mean? But I don't think I missed any. I don't think there was any, as I say, anymore. I think it was just Jack and Jack tour with Gigs Wise that I missed.
I think it was.
Yeah, it was. And then, was it 2019? I believe it was. February half term was meant to be the week of Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And so I booked to go to Josh's, because I was with Josh, and then they changed it over Christmas to the week before.
Okay, yeah.
So I remember explaining to them, I was like, well, I've booked it all. I've booked my train. Can't get a refund because they were the non-refundable tickets. And I was like, you're the ones who've changed it last minute. I can't really help the plans that I've made. And they let me go. So I had that week off. I think I had a week off in June as well, because you know how we finished like mid-June once all of our things were in. I made sure all of my assessments were in a week early so I could go to Charlotte's the week after. So I missed that week as well, but that was like not important, you know what I mean? Oh, I should have got a glass of water, but it's fine. So what have I got written down?
No.
This was very quickly planned, so there's not a lot. Is there anything you want to talk about yourself, about me, about anything? I mean,
well, what I've been up to recently,
Yeah, that's a good question to ask. What have you been up to, Tom?
This last 2 months has been a bit weird. I lost a family member to COVID, for one.
God, didn't know that. Was it close or was it?
It wasn't
because I feel like if it was closer, I'd have probably known.
I probably would have told you, to be honest. But it wasn't too close, but it was still somewhat impactful.
It's still not nice, is it? At the end of the day,
definitely not. But that was one thing that happened. But I think for myself, in terms of what I've wanted to do and where I want to go, and obviously COVID's really confusing with everything like that. I've kind of gone towards streaming video games and stuff.
Well, I have got that written down.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say what are your plans? Which we'll get into that in a minute. But I did write down very bluntly, but we can talk, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I put YouTube because if I'm correct, did you used to? No, you didn't. I was gonna say you used to upload on YouTube, but you didn't, did you?
I uploaded 2 vids. This one.
I was gonna say
yeah.
But then I saw that you streamed games, and I was just gonna have a chat about that because basically, as I said, I'm trying to get back on the YouTube grind.
Yeah.
And I did once. It was in 2017. It was a few years ago. I actually made a gaming channel, which I deleted now because I just couldn't stick to loads of channels. If I'm going to upload a gaming video, I'll do it on a normal one.
Yeah.
And I had a gaming channel, and I did it properly. I had my camera filming me, and I was screen recording my brother's PC, and I was properly doing everything. And I did enjoy it, to be fair. And I am thinking of doing it again. Obviously, I'm quite varied on what I can play because I only have a laptop, so and my brother's PC. I could use my brother's Xbox, but I've got to work around him. So I was going to ask, what kind of games would you recommend? If you got any?
Right.
Any recommendations? What do you do with gaming? And
well, see, for me and my best friend from childhood, Ryan, we stream together. We're kind of like a duo thing that we got going on. So for us, we like to do just games that we really like to play anyway. So it's kind of like Minecraft, Fortnite, Rocket League is a big one. Among Us is really popular right now that we like to stream. And just games like that. It's kind of games that you enjoy playing, but also if someone was to come along and suggest something, we'd be down to do that too, kind of thing. And as I mentioned, we don't just do YouTube videos. We are also streaming on Twitch. And we've got a little community going on right now, which is really nice. And we started a Discord, and people are joining it and stuff. So it's actually starting to build up into a nice community now, which is really nice. But honestly, I'll just suggest finding some games that you particularly like and just kind of running with them and just kind of seeing how things go. It's about experimenting at start because that's all we've had to do, experiment and see what works for us and what doesn't work for us, kind of thing.
Well, the game that I started playing a few years ago was Sims because I just love Sims. I never played it properly though, so I feel like if I did, I'd have to try and do it a bit more, But back then, I only used the original Sims stuff, whereas now I know about custom content that you can download and you can get loads of better features and whatever. So I'm thinking of re-downloading it onto my laptop because I had to restore my laptop because it was just broke. So I did a complete reset on it and it's working now. So I'm thinking of downloading that. And I can do quite a lot on my laptop, gaming wise. My brother, he streams on Twitch. I don't think he does it for. He doesn't. I've gone down and he's been streaming and he's only got 3 people watching and one of them's his mate playing with him. You know what I mean? But I can always see if he's up for teaching me how to play something for a video, or you know what I mean. So I've just got to figure out because he's got an Xbox and I think he's getting a PS4.
Maybe?
No, I think he's getting the older one.
Oh, okay.
And there is a couple of games that I like that I've watched people play.
Yeah.
So I can always say to him, at the minute it's going to be awkward because with lockdown he's not going into college.
Yeah.
So realistically, the times I would be able to film using my brother's consoles would be when he's not here, because that's only fair for him. But I'm not a gamer, so I'm not expecting to be amazing at it. And then if I enjoy it, I'll carry it on. If I don't,
But some people enjoy the fact that like someone's new because they feel like they can help you like learn and stuff, and it's always good for them to kind of connect with you that way. So even that is like still decent. And I play games, so if you need any gaming advice on anything,
we'll have to do a collab.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll have to. I think I'm gonna order me some actual headphones, because with my laptop anyway, obviously I can't use these because of the style of these, and the headphones I've got are Bluetooth, and I would rather have one with a mic because that will help when I edit videos as well, in case I need
some
to.
suggestions for headphones that like gaming headsets and stuff.
Yeah, that'll be great. Well, I'll stay on with you for a bit after this, and we'll just have a catch up anyway. And
Yeah.
So okay, so I'll start off with like, what's your plans? What are your, I wouldn't say goals, because I think when you're only new to it, or when you've not got many following anyway, you don't really know
you don't really have
your goals.
Like, goals
but like, what's with, I know, so do you have an actual YouTube channel for your gaming? Is that and how often do you upload on it?
At the moment I'm just doing once a week, because Ryan, the one that I'm doing with as well, he's not really on as much, and obviously I could post without him, but I feel a little bit more comfortable at the moment, just having him within the game itself, even if he's like not the main focus of that video. It's still good to have someone there just to kind of get conversation running, kind of talk to. It's still a bit awkward to be on stream by myself. So sometimes I'd just prefer him there, but I kind of do once a week, sometimes a little bit more if I've got the content, because sometimes you just like streaming or you're like playing the game, and you'll have something really funny happen, and then you'll just be like, okay, let me record that, or like let me clip that back, so that you've got that then to use for the YouTube video. But honestly, YouTube is just more like, it's more the finer points of what we're streaming, so it's like the best moments and like picking and choosing what's good, and obviously editing out parts. So YouTube's less often, but Twitch I normally do like every 2 days or so.
Do you think that you want to potentially do more with YouTube? Like, are you just focused on gaming, or do you think you want to try and do more? Like, obviously, I say that you've got to think you'd have to get equipment, but you can do it without equipment to start off with. You know what I mean? Like, for crying out loud, when I started doing vlogs, I was filming off a Samsung phone for vlogs and using iMovie, and I didn't have a camera. I was using my phone or my iPad to film. And I was lucky that my nan brought me my big camera, which then I was like, oh, okay, I can start filming off there. She then brought me my editing software, which has helped because I can do a lot more on it. But obviously, do you want to, I'm assuming at the moment you've just focused on gaming, but do you think you want to try and do other stuff to get more of a like wider range of people watching, or do you think I'm just set on gaming? What's like your mindset with it all?
For me, doing YouTube videos and everything at the moment, I think I struggle with finding that content for other type of like stuff, because gaming's so easy. Like, I'm not saying it's an easy thing to do, because it's not.
It's easy for you because it's what you do. It's like it's vlogging for me is easy for me because it's what I do, which is understandable. Yeah.
And the thing with vlogging and stuff is, like, I always find that either I'm staying in the house, obviously with lockdown as well, I'm staying in the house, and I'm not really doing much. So I don't know why I'm holding my remote, but I'm not really doing as much. So it's kind of harder to kind of vlog and keep it interesting and stuff. But I do want to go back into that, and I've said it to Ryan that I was streaming with, like, it would be good to do that. But I think it's kind of just about forming more of a plan towards that, actually planning it out a bit and being like, what kind of content ideas can we come up with to start, so that we don't run dry too quickly, kind of thing. So that's the main thing with that. But honestly, gaming, obviously, we just go on a game, we'll stream it. If there's funny moments, we can put it on YouTube. Or, you know, if we have something planned for the YouTube, we'll do that. Like we have a Minecraft survival series going on at the moment because we're really bad at survival. So that's something that we've got going on. And I think we're like 3-4 episodes in now because we post them like every 2 weeks, and then every other week that's not them, we're posting something else. So that's kind of what we're going on at the moment. But honestly, it's just with like, you know, doing vlogging or doing other type of ideas outside of gaming, it is just a bit more about planning it and stuff. And just more about kind of like making that step as well, kind of towards that.
Well, we'll definitely film some videos together once this is over.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got some ideas that I want to do. Obviously, some of them are not really realistic because it's not like I'm rich. But there is some ideas I've got that I want to try. But that's what I mean. I think I'm trying to keep to a vlog format at the moment. So even if, let's say, I say to my mum, oh, do you want to film a How Well Do You Know Me video? I will still vlog, but I'll add that in.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because I think that's a bit more fun. So, like, for example, I'll vlog in the morning and be like, oh, this is the plan for today. And then I'll vlog me doing something else. And then it will go to me and my mum doing the thing. And then I'll vlog whatever I do afterwards. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I just feel it's a bit more fun. I actually have a video going up at 5 today because I vlogged my brother's birthday, and I've tried to edit it differently to what I normally do, because do you know what I mean by it's a bit more snappy with the editing? So I'll cut out all the ums and the breaks, and it's a lot more choppy. I find that more fun than just straight up 3 minutes of talking with no. So I've tried to do that in the new editing. I've tried doing more zooming stuff and more for a little giggle, and you know, and I'm hoping it. I've asked Paige to watch it when, I mean, I think she watches them anyway, but I've said, can you just watch it and let me know if it works, because I feel like I act a bit differently in them, but I'm doing it to try and make it a bit more entertaining.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's the same with, you know, with the YouTube thing at the moment that we're doing on the gaming. We're still experimenting with editing because we're not like, you know, we haven't been doing it for as long as you or anything. So we're still quite new to editing. But I think for the first few, we've kind of just, you know, cut out the bad parts, kept the good parts in, and kind of done that sort of stuff. But I know within like the recent episode, we found a really funny moment, and then we've kind of just gone, oh, that's really funny. We can edit over that and, like, you know, make it even more snappy and on point, then it's going to be better. So that's what we've kind of been trying to do. We've kind of trying to just been adding a bit more editing just to make it a little bit more interesting, and, you know, take it away from the normal just it's gameplay, that's it. Like, add that little bit extra.
You've got to do what you enjoy doing as well, because editing can be a long process, so you've got to be able to enjoy,
I think, editing's a weird one. Like, I don't really enjoy it too much when I'm on my own. Like, I don't hate it, it's fine to do, but I think because I'm doing it with someone else, it's really funny because, like, he'll say something about it, like he'll be like, oh, that was such a really stupid moment because of this, and I'll just be like, oh my god, yeah. Like, it's good to have that, like, conversation while we're editing, and it definitely, like, you know, two heads are better than one, as I say. It helps to, like, create ideas for, like, what should be edited in or what shouldn't be in the video and stuff.
Yeah, at least you're enjoying it, because, you know, that's the main thing. You've got to enjoy filming it, and you know, you don't want to film something that you're like, oh, you know, I'm not enjoying it. So, I mean, I've got a few ideas planned. I'm filming something after this, which is something, I mean, I say something new, it's just an idea I came up with. Why not? But yeah, so I haven't really got much more down. I just, like, we've talked about YouTube plans.
Yes.
What about just plans in general? So are you still working? Because you were working, I believe, when I last saw you.
Back in August, but I stopped working there.
That was Tesco, wasn't it?
Yeah, the manager.
Yeah, we won't talk about that manager.
Yeah, the management wasn't it. Let's just leave it at that. Well, I stopped working. I haven't really got a job yet. It sounds bad, but
I mean, at the end of the day, sorry for butting in.
No, it's
I've been trying to get a job for over a year because I work at a pub, so like
yeah.
And for the first lockdown, I wasn't getting any wages off the government. I wasn't getting any money. So I couldn't get it because Corona, obviously everyone was looking for jobs, so I couldn't get it. Christmas, I was trying to get a Christmas job. It's already hard enough to get Christmas jobs anyway, and then add Corona on top of that.
Yeah.
So I get it.
It's been one of those like slow ones, to be fair. But I think what's so important is, like, for me at least, is I've been able to push through it. It's been quite difficult, obviously, with like family passings and stuff like that. It's been really difficult, especially in the household, because of other circumstances going on too. But it's one of those that I think it's been very hard to take in mentally. But I think what has helped is the games and the streaming and stuff, like it has had a major impact.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
We've got a little. It's not massive or anything, but we've got a few people that are in the community and stuff. They legit come to every stream. They're like, talk to us. They check how we're doing, everything like that. They're always there, which is really nice. I don't know where they came from, but they've been there. They've had, and it's just been nice. And I think what's so good about that is it's like helps with a bit of the loneliness kind of feel. Like you feel quite lonely sometimes, especially I haven't left the house for like 2-3 months now. Other than there was this one time where I did a bit of like training within media stuff, which was what I was mentioning earlier to you off camera about like the podcast stuff. I was working with some media company towards that.
Yeah.
But that's the only time I've been at the house in like the last 3 months. So for me, well, it'll be 4 months now, but like for me, it's been just quite lonely and it's been quite hard, as with my mental health and stuff. It has been pretty difficult, but I think it's so good to have, someone to talk to sometimes, or just ways to, distract yourself. I think that's the most important thing, just being able to find something that you enjoy. And if you don't really, have something that you enjoy at the moment, I think what's so good is, you've got the time to find something that you could be interested in.
That's what I mean with YouTube. I know it's not live, it's, but I don't do it for the views or I mean, I can't get money from it at the minute anyway, so I'm not doing it for the money, clearly, because I can't earn money yet. I do it because I enjoy filming, and that's the main thing. Like, at the end of the day, if I film a video where I think it's hilarious and I love it and I'm enjoying it, and it gets 10 views, compared to one I did last week that gets 300 views, which I thought was shit, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, this is
because I enjoyed it.
It's the same with gaming and stuff. We do want to make something of it, but we're not like.
It's nice to have. It's nice to know that people enjoy videos when they get these views, and it's nice when you get like 50 likes on a video, or even 3 comments when you normally get none, or something small. It is nice, but I don't let it affect me too much.
It's not
because
like forcing you to focus on the numbers or anything, which I think is key, really. A lot of people that do focus on the numbers, they may keep getting those numbers higher and higher, but I think what's so detrimental to them is they're not going to have as much fun, or they're not going to see as much enjoyment in it, because they're so focused on it. And it's difficult then. I think you have to have that balance of wanting it to go far, but not pushing it to be like super what's the word for it, where people like
forced.
No, there's another word I'm trying to think of. It's kind of like manufactured. Like they try and manufacture it too much. They kind of force themselves into this persona or this image, and it's just like, that isn't you. Don't be someone that you're not, and don't push for something that really realistically it shouldn't matter too much.
Yeah, 100%. I'm happy. I mean, we've spoke about a lot.
We have.
About, and it's been nice to chat about. Just, I mean, it's nice to not chat an hour about Corona, because I feel like especially in the first lockdown, whenever I FaceTime someone, we just spoke about Corona.
And
I'm just like, I know it's the only thing going on at the moment, and I don't mind talking about it sometimes, but it's just like, I think it's nearly been a year in it now, and it's just like,
it's awful because obviously it is such a serious situation, and I think, as you said, it's important to mention it, but at the same time, it's got to not lead people's lives. Like, if people lead their life by Corona right now, it's not the best thing to do. Obviously, you need to be safe, and you need to, follow the restrictions, and you need to, be the best you can for yourself and everyone else around you. But you also need to, be able to look away from it a little bit as well. Just
you
as
can
earlier
you can
point.
have a day not thinking about Corona.
Yeah.
It's not a crime at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Because it's going on, you're doing what you're doing to keep safe, but that doesn't mean you have to spend a day in the house and think about it because you're already staying safe by not going out the house.
I think.
So how it's hard, I think, for everyone. I mean, personally, I'm quite glad that we've gone into another lockdown because it's apparently it's worse now than it was last March.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he's put his foot down. I'm glad he's closing schools because that was a big thing, And we've got a vaccine now as well, which means higher hopes with the lockdown being less time. And at the end of the day, it will be over.
Yeah, the most important thing I think is to take away is, it is obviously a major thing in people's lives, but as you said, just try and live at least a day without Corona, because the other thing is it impacts mental health such like heavily. So I know I was speaking to a friend yesterday, and they were not in a good position mentally. And it was hard to speak to them, especially because some of the thought trains they were having. But it's one of those things that it's harder to help people as well who might have those now mental health issues because of what's happened.
You can't be with them as well, and I think a lot of people, to help with their mental health, it's better to be around people rather than virtually. Like, it's nice that I can still talk to you at the end of the day, but I think like you're a lot happier when you're doing stuff together in person. And it's kind of like, I mean, I know in summer last year the virus was still out, but obviously we were doing well. It wasn't bad. It was only like less than 100 a day. It was really good, wasn't it, in summer? And obviously I went mini golf with Aaliyah, and just even though it was just me and Aaliyah, we were in person and we were doing something. When we had our 2-hour dinners once a week, it was something, you know what I mean? And it was such a different, such an impact. And it's like when I went back to work at the club, I worked every night of the week, which is not what I normally did. And obviously, coronavirus not here, I would probably be like, oh, I need night off. You know what I mean? But I loved going to work. I absolutely loved it because I was doing nothing else. I was around. Yeah, I wasn't exactly hugging and kissing people and being all, but I was around familiar faces. I was with my grandparents working because they're my grandparents. It's nice to be able to work with family in something that you enjoy doing. And it was, it's such a difference, I think, because me, before all of this, I was never home.
No, this is the thing. I know you're quite like an outgoing person. You like to be out, you like to be doing stuff, and you like to keep busy and stuff. And I feel that, I'm quite able to stay in the house for weeks on end. I've done that before with, the other circumstances going on. I've been in situations where it's beneficial for me to stay in. And even with the work thing, like when I was working at Tesco during summer and everything, during lockdown, I did find that it was so nice to get out of the house and, do something.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I wanted to get a job because, one, I needed the money anyway, especially not getting any money from the club. And I was like, no matter how often I go in, even if it's part-time and I'm in 3 days a week, at least that's 3 days I haven't got to worry about being stuck inside and overthinking everything and making my health really bad. And
for I think both of us in that circumstance, like going to work was such a good thing because of that. And obviously, if with the club being shut and whatnot, it must have really been difficult to navigate just being able to live a life that's not what it usually is. Even just that is
it's stressful because as well we closed the cricket club because we went into lockdown on the Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't know what date, but I know it was March and it was a Saturday. And they closed the club on the Friday, the night before. However, I didn't go to work for 2 weeks before that because my mom, they think my mom had corona. Yeah. So I had to self-isolate for 2 weeks. So I actually had an extra 2 weeks of lockdown. So I didn't get to say a proper goodbye to anyone at the club. We were off until I think it was the second week of July or the first week of July. We went back. I was buzzing. I went back. I helped deep clean everything. I was like, oh, deep clean. I'm buzzing to deep. I would never, but I was like, I'm going back to work. It was a bit slow to start off with because some people obviously didn't know we were open or didn't want to come in and risk anything. And but then it got busier. Obviously not bad busy, and everyone was socially distanced before anyone watching comes at me. But everything was fine. And it was great. And I was like, I loved it because it was 3 hours a day where I was socialising with people, which I hadn't done for bloody months. And it was just nice. Yeah. And then obviously, I think it was a week before he announced the November lockdown, we went into the next tier, so tier 2. Yeah. Which meant we could still stay open, but it changed to only households at a table. So before you could have a mix at a table, but it was only 6 people. But then it moved to only households. Now with my granddad's pub, it's not very big. So if we made it so that one household only could sit at a table, everyone would be sat at one each on a table and it wouldn't be right. So we had to we sectioned off the chairs so that people could still sit at a table, but it was very, very limited. Because imagine you go in the pub to meet me and we have to sit on 2 opposite ends of the room. Yeah. No one would have come in. If we'd have done that, we wouldn't have had any customers. It's a bit awkward because obviously some of the restrictions, and I'm sure a lot of people watching are going to have a little debate about this if they were to watch this, but like Boris obviously and the government itself haven't been fully 100% on it and getting everything right, and some of the restrictions don't really make sense, some of them do. It's been a really tough one to navigate, and I'm sure overall we just as a country and as a world, the only thing that we've really taken as a full proof measure of being safe is to wear masks and 2 meters distance. That's the only thing that we can really take away from what they're saying that has stuck. Everything else. That's the main things we can do for ourselves. Yeah, there's all these other rules like no mixing, no going in houses. We get that, but if I went to the bank, for example, because I have to go to the bank, that's an essential thing I have to do. I'll wear my mask and I'll keep my distance. I mean, and that's all you can physically do in some situations to keep yourself and other people safe. Yeah. If someone wants to come up to me and squash up to me, then let them, but I'll move away. Or if I can't physically move away, I'll make sure my mask is on even if I'm outside. You've just got to be careful for yourself, and then that'll help other people at the end of the day. Right. But just quickly before we end, have you ever watched Casualty? It's really random, but have you ever watched Casualty? I haven't. Right, it's like my favourite hospital programme ever, right? Right. and they haven't had an episode since like August. I've been so depressed, right? I mean, I get that. Well, I get why they couldn't film, but I'm not going to go into that because there's loads of programs that are filmed.
Yeah.
You know, but obviously this one's a bit harder because it's like a soap, so they have to be close. So fair enough. Anyway, and they released the first episode of the next season on Saturday, just gone, and I was like,
you were really buzzing.
I was buzzing, and the episode was about coronavirus.
Okay.
I was like, very original. So that, like, I was joking about it, not the virus, but I was like, me and my mum were like, oh, how original that they're doing, you know. And so I just sat down and I didn't know what to expect. I was like, are they gonna just do like a normal episode where there's other injuries as well, but like they're dealing with corona at the same time? You know, I was like, I wonder what they've done. But it was, watch it. Like, that's all I'm gonna say, because it showed you the reality of hospitals at the moment, and it made me cry, because I think we know how real it is, but we don't see how real it is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
We're not like, the frontline workers or anything, and we're not seeing, the impact it literally will have in, such a place like a hospital. Hospitals are obviously always considered like, a really bad place to be in, and, it's always rushed, or there's always stuff going on because, you can't help people being ill or injured or anything like that. But I think, with Corona, I know I haven't gone near a hospital in like a good 2-3 years, but I can imagine that even back then it was so rushed. Like, going into A&E as well is one of the things that I can think of. You never get a quick set. It's an accident and emergency, obviously, but it's never as quick as you think it should be, or because just how strainful it is. There's so many people that come in for so many different reasons. So I legit don't think I could imagine the impact Corona has had.
Exactly. And that episode, it's like it really shows you what they deal with, because they had I won't spoil it in case you do decide to watch it, but it has a mix of like before lockdown. So it's Corona's out there, but in the episode, it's like they have like a thing that says blah 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 days before lockdown. And they know Corona's a thing, but they've had no cases in the hospital, so they're not wearing masks. They're all carrying on as normal.
Yeah.
Because that's what people were doing before lockdown, because that's how it was.
What we got told, to be fair.
And then a few days before lockdown or something like that, one of the patients they thought had COVID, so they started panicking and they were like, right, we need to deep clean everything, blah blah blah. Then they went into lockdown, and it showed you a little this sounds really weird, a montage of them trying to save people's lives from Corona, and about 5 people dying. It was showing you, it showed you 2 people who went in with it but came out at the end perfectly fine. So it was showing you the positives of the hospitals working and stuff. But it was just crazy, because I won't spoil this, but one of the cast members dies of it in there, and I was crying my eyes out at the end. I was sobbing. But that's the reality. Like, there's bound to be hospital staff who've sadly passed away from it in the last year, because you're surrounded by it. You can't get away from it.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So if anyone watches who might be interested, I do recommend watching it, because I think if you don't understand how bad it is in hospitals, or you want to understand it more, then it's definitely something to watch, because it's intense.
Sheds the light. Yeah, it sheds the light on, such a difficult situation.
Yeah, definitely. I'll end it there anyway, because we've been chatting for forever. But it was really nice to have you on. Nice to have a catch up. We'll have a quick catch up after this, so we can talk about personal stuff. But I will leave Tom's links to like his Instagram down below, which I do anyway. But and I will see you all on the next podcast. So bye.